Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Zappies versus Hunter challenge. Now, near the end of today's video I do have a few fights that are not related to this challenge. In fact, one of them is a guest fight from one of my friends as well, so do stick around for that. And by the way guys, I did publish the written guide for the deck that I uploaded last time, so do check that out on Stats Royale when you have the chance. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment. But anyways, so we're fighting on my third account right now, and we're actually fighting someone from the Nova Ukraine clan, so it's a bit worrisome for me right now. I'm just debating whether or not this person is actually in that clan right now. And look at this right now, he rages a Hog Rider and I have 6 Zappies just stunning that Hog Rider right now. I'm pretty sure if that Knight wasn't in the way, the Zappies there would have perma-stunned it and they would have just wrecked it overall. So my opponent right now, he drops a Hunter, and the Hunter is... I like the Hunter and the Zappies, but I do think that they could be a little bit better than they are right now, because like the Hunter, he does so much damage up close. He can 4-shot a Lava Hound if placed correctly, right? But when something's just at the furthest point of his reach, it can be so lackluster. He can't kill archers, he can't kill dart goblins, he can't even kill spear goblins. I'm not sure if he can kill skeletons in one shot from that range, but still, you get the idea. At a really far range, he really can't do much. I feel Supercell should buff the damage for his furthest shots just a little bit. I mean, come on, it needs to at least kill spear goblins. Am I right, guys? So, with that being said there now, the Zappies are great, but they could be way better. I mean, they hold things back and they do a great job. I'm glad that they don't target air, because I mean, if they targeted air, they would replace the Electro Wizard and they would scare the hell out of people who use the Inferno Dragons as well. Because let's be real here folks, if the Zappies could hit air, that would be a game changer. They'd be screwing over Inferno Dragons for sure. Be able to just tank and spank against almost any flying troop, basically, like the Baby Dragon, Mega Minion and stuff. If you have an Ice Golem, you could just make them reset onto that there, and that would be really frustrating to deal with there. So I hope you guys can understand why Supercell did not let them target air, because if you make the card that good, it's basically going to replace other cards, and in this scenario here, it's probably going to replace the Electro Wizard, because I mean, hitting air, stunning and resetting and stuff is what the Electro Wizard does. So giving Zappies the ability to hit air is probably going to be making him less and less viable. I mean, they nerfed him for that same reason, but let's face it, you can't have 2 cards doing basically the same thing but of different rarities. I hope you guys can understand what I mean there. Anyways, take a look at this right now. We are trading towers right now, because I knew that my opponent was gonna have to work to take down that right tower of mine, and I had his right tower in the back there, so I could basically use lightning anytime I wanted or send a miner and I'd be good to go. So right now I'm just defending, and I'm just trying to make sure that he doesn't do too much damage on my tower while I'm going to be chipping away at his tower there. I send in the goblin barrel along with the miner there. He zaps, but that is not going to be enough, so we take that win there for ourselves, and now we're going to be moving on to match number 2. But before we get into that there folks, I would like to say, if I had to balance the Zappies, I would either A, make them attack a tad bit faster, although that could lead to problems, like it could really perma-stun stuff with just the normal Zappies alone, or I would at least buff their damage just a tad bit, because I mean, they barely do much damage, so making them do a little more damage for their worth would be much better, because they die to Fireball as it is. Fire Spirits actually wreck it. That's why I took Fire Spirits in this match here, because I knew even if I didn't get the Zappies myself, I could at least just wreck them with Fire Spirits alone. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do here. So take a look at this matchup right now. My opponent has Lava Hound there. He makes a smart play there and invests in the Lava Hound so that he can just soak up a lot of the Fire Spirits there and continue pushing his way to my tower. Now at this point in time, I dropped my Executioner in hopes to help defend against the Lava Hound. However, I was regretting placing him near the tower because I wasn't sure if my opponent had a hard counter like the rocket, and unfortunately for me, he did in fact have the rocket. So that was just a real big waste for me there. So I have to spend the log and the mini P.E.K.K.A as well as the dart goblin there to help clean up defense. Thankfully, the dart goblin attacks so fast, he gets enough damage to really just make up for all of the HP that I lost unnecessarily there. Now, at this point in time, I'm thinking, what can I do to throw my opponent off? So I figure at this point in time, he's probably going to make a slow rolling push. So I just drop some extra fire spirits at the bridge, and take a look at this, folks. 4 out of 5 of them make it to the tower there, barely escaping the bowler's boulder there. Folks, that is a whole ton of damage. Trust me, you cannot get better than that. 4 fire spirits landing on a tower at once is a significant amount of damage. So, seeing as my opponent dropped his lava hound there at the bridge there, I decided to rush him on the left lane with a little graveyard push. In the meantime, I cycle my dart goblin on the left lane there so he can move back onto the baby dragon when the lava hound is finished off there, and I use the mini P.E.K.K.A to finish off the bowler there. That, my friend, is the best play that I could do. However, it's quite unfortunate that the baby dragon did kill my dart goblin. However, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm going to set back up my furnace once again to try to get some chip damage done. Instead, I end up forcing my opponent to drop his bowler once again. So now I have to defend that there while he's denying my furnace. That's pretty sad, to be honest. Furnace never works out whenever your opponent has like an executioner, ice wizard, some archers, or bowler, or baby dragon, anything like that. But if you can play your cards right, then you should be good to go. Now take a look at what I do here. I use the Zappies. Even though I know that they die out easily, I had to preserve that dart goblin there because he's my best line of defense against that lava hound there, except the executioner. But of course, the executioner costs more and my opponent can get a lot of rocket value like he did earlier. Speaking of which, my tower suffers a rocket and we also lose our poor dart goblin. Rip dart goblin, man. He will be missed. Now, I'm going to be throwing out a graveyard here just to keep my opponent a little bit busy here. He spends a wizard in the back there with his 5 elixir investment there. And now we're going to be setting up defense once more. Again, I'm going to be relying on that dart goblin there. But first, I set up some Zappies there just to cycle. The baby dragon does splash on them, but it doesn't matter too much. My opponent now, he's going to be sending a rocket onto my tower there. My tower's on critical HP, so now I'm just like, you know what, it is go time. We have to take a tower now. Thankfully, the Zappy does reset the tower. It switches targets to the graveyard, and with that, folks, the Zappy manages to finish off the game for us there because he was able to snipe off the tower while it was distracted. So that was pretty awesome for us. Am I right, guys? Because that single-handedly won me the match. If the Zappy didn't survive long enough, we probably would have lost, since my opponent could easily cycle back to another rocket to finish us off. But anyways, let's move on to this next match now. My opponent now, I gave him the Barbarian Hut. So guys, what do you guys think about spawners? Do you guys think they are skill cards, or do you think they're just like no skill cards, like anyone can use it and win with it? What do you guys think? I, for one, I think spawners do require some degree of skill, because I mean, when you think about it, they are an investment that you make. So just like my opponent here, he invested 6 elixir in that Sparky there in hopes that it would return a lot of value for him there, but unfortunately it didn't. It's a risk, it's a gamble. That's what spending your elixir in heavier things are really all about. In fact, all things that you spend elixir on, they are investments. So when I use a spawner, I'm going to be placing it either in the back of my towers or in the middle of the arena. Now, if you place it in the back of your towers there, you can be susceptible to poison. You're going to be susceptible to lightning and rocket, especially the rocket if you place it too close. So if you place it in the middle now like I did here, you can be prone to an opposite lane push. If your opponent uses something like a hog rider in the opposite lane there, they can easily bypass this furnace placement that I have here. And even if I did push the furnace placement a little more up, my opponent could just simply snipe it away with like a musketeer, archers, probably an ice wizard. Anything that's ranged basically could easily stomp my furnace there and kind of just screw me over, if you know what I mean, right? So just think about it. You invest elixir in certain cards in hopes that they manage to be able to provide some value for you, and it's basically a gamble, folks. That is exactly what it is, a big gamble. So it's either it works out in your favor and helps you win the game, or it doesn't work out and it proves to be a really unworthy risk that you took there, or unnecessary, if I had to really choose my words a little bit better there. So yeah, that's basically my opinion on spawners there. So I'm sorry for those of you who disagree with what I have to say, but that is my opinion, and I'm probably not going to be able to change that opinion anytime soon, because that is really what I would like to believe about spawners. So anyways, let's move back to this match now. My opponent now, he lost his right side tower there pretty easily because he invested in the Zappies there. The Zappies, like I said earlier, because they don't hit air, that's making them a little more balanced to me. If they did hit air, that would be pretty strong. Think about it, investing in the Zappies there, and they have like 3 of them at any given point in time, and you can split that up and deal a lot of damage on both lanes and have that zapping potential and stuff. It's like archers that can stun basically, but they do less damage overall. Take a look at this. My opponent poisons here, trying to get rid of my push, but that one princess is just out of reach, and she continues to snipe away, and we manage to bring down his king tower there, giving us a lovely 3 crown. So folks, those were the fights that stood out to me most while playing the Zappies versus Hunter challenge. But my last opponent though, he had a really questionable name, am I right guys? But anyways, this is a bonus video for you guys right now. I forgot to show you all this in my last video. I am truly sorry for that, guys. I could have sworn I used out all of the footage of the original deck, but apparently I did not check the folder that I stored the videos that I just recorded, so I missed one. Forgive me guys, I am really sorry about that. That was really unfortunate there, and I'll try to do my best to not let that happen again. Anyways, take a look at this right now. My opponent is using his executioner there really poorly right now. He tornadoed my cards back, I guess, but the balloon didn't care at all. It pushed its way to the tower there and did a lot of damage there. Now I'm gonna be pushing really hard at him right now. We're gonna be using the Mega Knight. We've got the bats, and take a look at this miner in the back there. This is a pro tip right now, guys. Just send your miner in pretty deep, and this should distract your opponent's executioner. If not, drop it near where you suspect that they will drop it, in hopes to defend your push. And what this will do is it will prevent your opponents from being able to just group up everything with a tornado and be able to make full use of the executioner splash damage. So that's basically what happened there, and that helped me win the game. Now take a look at this. I am featuring a video that I recorded a while back. This is footage from one of my clanmates, Kyle the Boss. He's a really strong player overall. He specializes in a number of decks. Pretty good guy overall, and he's playing TMD Yao Yao's Golem beatdown deck with 3 musketeers. Dear god, I tried this deck out myself. I kind of suck at it. I mean, I'm not a big Golem player, and I am certainly not a big 3 Musketeer player. If anything, I could probably play either deck separately but not together. But anyways, back to the deck. So once you get the momentum going with the Golem, you can basically put almost anything behind it, and it can be really deadly for your opponents to deal with. Now you don't have a zap spell, so when you do push with a Golem, you are pushing to take a tower, maybe even a 3 crown in one push. So what does that mean, folks? It means you have to be very patient with this deck. You've got to use all your other cards in the meantime. Don't always rush with your Golem. I mean, Kyle is going to be using his Golem here. He doesn't well, he isn't fully aware of his opponent's deck at the moment, so he does not know that his opponent is running a splashy deck. So because of that, now his opponent has an upper hand against him because he's got the bowler, he's also got the baby dragon and the tornado spell. So take a look at what happens here. Kyle invests in a minion horde, a lumberjack, and immediately he knows that's basically GG on that push there, because there's no way that his entire push could have survived. If the lumberjack died before though, that could have made a difference. However, his opponent again runs the tornado spell in this deck, so that leads to a lot of problems for Kyle, because he can't use his troops freely without them being grouped up, splashed on, and just getting a lot of positive trades out of that, and solid defense as well, might I add. And now his opponent poisons his 3 musketeers, his tower, and the minions there. That was a beautiful poison on, I think it's Ofro. I'm really not sure if I'm saying that right, but generally his opponent is playing pretty well. Kyle is doing his best right now, and he sees that it's double elixir and he needs to get another Golem going, because that's how he got his damage done the last time. So he's got to invest and commit. So He's pushing with the golem right now, and he's going to be splitting 3 musketeers once more. His opponent poisons the 3 musketeers and then tries to pull that one back into the poison there. It sort of reaches, and it does kind of take off a lot of the HP of the musketeer right there, but unfortunately for him, it did not pull everything together completely for them to wander down the same lane. And so his opponent had to commit the extra elixir on the opposite lane there, and because of that now, he was not able to build up a even stronger push on this left lane. So take a look at this right now. He's got a graveyard coming in, and instead of using the minion horde on the graveyard, he uses it on the baby dragon as well as the bowler. Now the reason why he did this is because if the baby dragon or the bowler were to tank, that would lead to a lot of problems. So by killing them first, he was able to make sure that his tower was able to focus on the graveyard itself. Take a look at this right now. The lumberjack drops his rage spell. The minion horde is eating away at that bowler there. Kyle is going to drop a lumberjack into the rage spell there, and look at him go. He's making his way to the tower very quickly now. He drops a knight, and his opponent just needs to cycle a poison right now. But look at this. The rage spell still in effect. It causes his troops to just tear up that knight, and because of that, Kyle was able to pull off a really clutch win there with just 1 HP on his tower. It's not every day you really get to see stuff like that happening, am I right, guys? And now folks, we're going to be moving on to the rewards of this challenge. For those of you who would have been following me on Twitter, you would have seen that I posted about my frustration in this challenge because I had so much lag, man. I kept disconnecting. Some matches I had the game in the bag and all I needed was like a little bit of minor chip damage or 1 poison spell or any kind of spell damage to finish off a tower, and then that is when my internet gave up on me. It was really infuriating, guys, trust me. But anyways folks, that's enough rambling on for now. So like I was saying, I did play the challenge on my other accounts and I did do pretty well overall despite the technical difficulties, and while tapping through chests I did get a legendary card. So can you guess what it is going to be? Let me know down in the comments below. I got this on my 3rd account, so let's see what we are going to get here folks. Comment it down below. I wonder if any of you can actually guess it, right? So the legendary card is gonna be, and it is a lava hound. Okay folks, I am absolutely tired of this right now. That is enough of that. Please, for God's sake, stop giving me lava hounds. It is literally the one legendary card that I refuse to pick up. I would sooner play Sparky than a lava hound. So for those of you viewers out there who are in fact fans of the Lava Hound, I would like to apologize to you because I am just not a fan of the Hound. I just feel it's unnecessary for me to have to build an entire deck around that one card, whereas other legendary cards, I can put them in a deck and make them work. Even if it's Sparky or the Inferno Dragon, Night Witch, all of those are great cards overall. In fact, almost all legendary cards have some value. Don't really listen to what I have to say here or what criticisms other people have to give about any of the legendary cards. Everyone has some value, but overall it's up to the player and what their personal preferences are. Now, the Mega Knight is also an expensive tank for a legendary card, but he's very versatile as well, and you can find him in Hog Rider decks, you can find him in Balloon decks like I shared in my last upload as well. So yeah, just not a fan of the Lava Hound. Anyways, sorry for all that rambling on, guys. So I did post the written guide for my last deck guide, so do check that out in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment, and let me know how you guys think the write-up came out. So that is gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, remember, if you keep on digging, you'll eventually strike gold, but even then, keep on digging deeper. You'll eventually come across something even more worth your while. So with that being said there folks, I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.